Hello, my name is Lorenzo Buda, and today I'm going to be going over the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It is a book that he written on how to become a more effective person, not only in your personal life, but also in your professional life. So the first habit is, these are the 7 habits. The first one is being proactive. Second one is begin with the end in mind. Number 3 is put first things first. 4, think win-win. 5, seek first to understand and then to be understood. 6 is synergize, and 7 is sharpen the saw. So the first one is being proactive. Uh, so these are some of what he says, some of the things that you should be doing to become proactive in your job or in your daily life. Choose what your reaction will be and don't get swept away by your emotions. Because you want, especially in a professional setting, you want to be calm and collected. Even if something surprising happens, you want to seem like you have things under control and you don't want to be just got swept away by the situation. You want to be able to at least keep control of yourself. Um, Also, consider your response to the event, not the event itself. So think about how you're going to be responding if someone just piles a bunch of work on your desk. Instead of getting angry or frustrated and saying, "Why would you do this? I can't do all of this." You take a step back, you breathe, and consider, okay, if I suddenly blow up at this person, what's going to happen? If I tell them, hey, I can't, if I tell them, hey, I'm going to try to do as much as I can, but I can't guarantee that I can finish everything, see, that's another response. Because we can control, going up to this third point, we can control how we can react, but we can't control the consequences. So whenever you choose a certain reaction, then you're choosing to be subject to whatever consequences take place. And that's why it's important to control our reaction, to choose our reaction, and not let ourselves get swept away by the event or by the emotions that we're feeling during that time. Take responsibility for your life. And this also ties in into the don't wait to be acted on, take initiative, and don't wait for someone else's action to affect you. You have to be the one to take the first step. You want change to happen in your life, then you must be the one to change something. You can't wait for someone to just, for example, hand you that promotion. If you want to seem more dependable, if you want people to rely on you more, you can't wait for them to hand you work. You have to be proactive. You have to go out and seek more work or seek more important work. You have to also show people that you can be responsible enough to handle those higher important tasks. And also be the change and make the change. As I said, if you want change in your life, you have to be the one that initializes it. You have to be the catalyst for that change. You can't just wait for someone's actions to then ripple, right, and change your life or your situation, because that could also have a negative effect on you. That's why if you want the best change and the change that you want, you have to be the one that starts that change. You have to become that change. Here's habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. What this means is these are the 4 steps can be categorized in 4 simple steps. First one, know your end goal. Understand who you want to become. Not only do you need to know your goal, for example, in the company, you want to reach in like a certain amount of time, you want to reach this level, you want to become, for example, senior manager. You also have to envision the type of person you want to become. Because to change, to that when you're going down this path of seeking goals and seeking better things, you yourself have to change. If your situations are changing, then you yourself have to be changing. So knowing your end goal, knowing that you want to become this senior level manager, for example, you also have to understand I have to start acting like a senior level manager. You have to start examining everything through the eyes of that person. You have to start acting more responsible like a senior level manager. You have to take on responsibilities that a senior level manager would be taking on. You have to converse with people. You have to do the tasks, or at least familiarize yourself with the tasks that senior level managers do. And once you're able to do that, you're able to see and analyze problems, solutions, even the way you work. You're able to examine that through the eyes of a senior level manager, no longer as yourself, but you as a senior level manager. Step two is you want to write a mission statement and some principles. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes some time, but you have to write down a mission statement. This is what I want to achieve, and these are my principles. This is the stuff. These are the non-negotiables. This is what I want to symbolize. This is what I want to adhere to. I want to be kind and courteous to all my coworkers. I want people to be able to think that I am a dependable person. I want people to believe that they can trust me with their problems. Right? These are your principles, and you want to stick to them to be able to get to that end goal. Step three is picture your future. How do you want to be remembered? Not only as a coworker, you want to be remembered as a good, dependable coworker, fun to be around, but also in your family life. Do you want to, when people are around you in your casket, how do you want them to talk about you? And step four, knowing your end goal makes a clearer path. It's very easy for us to lose ourselves when we're trying to achieve something. Or it's easy for us to get sidetracked or lose sight of what's important. That's why knowing your end goal keeps you from straying from the path. And that's why you make a mission statement. Hey, I want to become the senior level manager, but I also want to be there for my family. I want to be there for movie nights. I want to be there for, let's say, baseball games. I want to be there for dance recitals. And that's why you will need those principles, so then you can become a highly effective coworker, husband, and even parent. And then with constant effort and patience, results will be achieved. This doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, and it needs you need constant reassurance from yourself and constant checks saying, yeah, I'm on the right path. Yes, this is the right decision. Habit three is put first things first. What this means is there's these four quadrants. Quadrant one, and these are quadrants categorized tasks. Are the important and urgent, important and non-urgent, not important and urgent, and then non-important and non-urgent. So what a lot of people do is they don't really feel like, it happens, you're feeling lazy and you don't want to do these tasks. So, or you have time, you don't want to do these tasks, you have time because they're non-urgent. So you go and you do these ones, the non-important and urgent and non-important and non-urgent, right? It's like checking your emails, looking at your calendar, rearranging your calendar, cleaning your desk, like printing papers for a presentation that you have in a week. And then important and urgent rolls around, and you have to rush to finish these tasks, and they're not at the level where you would hope they would be. So first thing, you do the tasks in order of importance and urgency. If these tasks pile up, you'll have to do them. If these important and urgent tasks, you have to do them immediately. But the goal is to make as many tasks as possible fit into the second quadrant. So you have enough time to do them skillfully and to the level that that will impress your superiors and coworkers. Because if you're able to do time management in this way, you will stand out above the rest. You will look like you know what you're doing. Habit four is think win-win. And it doesn't only apply when something bad happens and you keep a positive mindset. You have to find a way for both parties to come out happy. Especially for business dealings, or if you're having a disagreement with someone on how some things should be done or a task should be completed, you have to figure out a way so both parties come out happy. You compromise. We do a little bit of, we take what you're saying, but we also do what I'm saying. And if that can be achieved, then a deal doesn't need to be done. This is called a win-win or no deal situation. Because if one party comes out unhappy out of that deal, out of that transaction, then most likely they're not going to be coming back. Or they're going to be coming back, but they're going to have some reservations towards you or the company. So you want to be focused on you want to focus on results, not the means, but the results, and reward only win-win scenarios. Not only for yourself, but also for your colleagues. If you're managing people, if you're at a higher level, only win-win scenarios. Because if you start rewarding win-lose scenarios, lose-win scenarios, or lose-lose scenarios, then it doesn't. You're not building. You're not becoming an effective person, a highly effective person. You're actually destroying what you've built, your credibility, your reputation. You want to be the person where people think, yeah, I didn't get everything I wanted, but I did get some of it. I did come out happy at the end because they listened to me and they were able to appease some of what I wanted. For example, this happens a lot with bigger companies where they tell the consumer, the customer, yes, we can deliver all of this, and then the workers are overworked or they're overstressed or they actually can't deliver everything in that timeline. So the consumer is winning, but the customer is winning, but the employees are losing. So so the employees are actually gonna be more, they're gonna want to actually leave the company. So if you tell the customer, hey, we can do some of this because we don't have the time frame for it, and you cut your workers a little bit of slack and let them work and let them deliver high quality work, then both sides win, and the customer is actually going to think, hey, they didn't deliver everything, but what they delivered was perfect, exactly what we wanted. Let's go back and see what else they can achieve. Let's give them a longer time frame. Habit 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. What this means is you have to, especially when you're talking to someone, having some type of conversation or interaction, you have, before speaking, you have to understand the person that's talking to you. You have to acknowledge the person you're talking to, who they are, where they came from, the situation they're in, or the situation that they're coming from. You have to understand all of these different parts of them, so then you can effectively talk to this person, or you can effectively, I want to say, help the person. Because when you're talking to someone and they come to you with, let's say, an issue or a problem, you don't try. The human response is to immediately try to help, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to immediately give solutions or advice. You want to make sure that the person feels seen, heard, and understood. You want to fully understand what they're talking about and what the issue is. A good way to do this is you listen. You might even be taking notes while they're talking to you, and then you read it back to them. You say back, okay, let me see if I understood this, and you say it back to them. You repeat back to them what you understood, and this makes the person feel seen, heard, and understood, and it makes you seem like a more empathetic person. So when people are going to be working with you in the future, they're going to be more agreeable with you. They're going to be more open-minded. People are actually going to want to work with you a lot more, because you make them seem like they're more than just a coworker, they're an actual person. And then you want to think before you act, because the time and effort it requires to understand someone's position and dilemma is less than what it would take to clear a misunderstanding. The time, yeah, yes, it does take a lot of time and effort to sit down and listen to a person's problem and fully understand what they're saying and how they want it, how they would like it to be resolved. But if you go straight off the bat and you tell them how to fix it and you didn't fully understand what they're talking about, then you might seem like a rude and uncaring person. And it's actually going to take longer for you to show that person, hey, I'm actually not this type of person. I'm actually open and respectful, and I was actually wanting to help. It takes longer to clear this misunderstanding than to actually just fully understand it, ask them if you understood it correctly, and then give them advice. If they want advice. Sometimes a lot of people just need to be heard, and they can actually come up with the solutions on their own, which is why it's important to first understand the person and then you go and try to be understood by the other person. Habit 6 is synergize. And synergy, all of these habits that we've talked before go into synergy, right? The overview, right, for synergy, it's group work. Synergize is group work. The overview is you have to be flexible and open-minded. And with habit 5, you are. And with habit 4, you become open-minded. You seem more open-minded because you're able to, both parties, when they come out of an conversation with you, they're both coming out happy. And you're able to listen. You're an active listener. You're able to understand the person. The people are being seen. They feel heard. So that makes you a flexible and open-minded person. Then comes connection. You want to be able to work in a group setting. You want to be able to connect with people when you're working, because synergy, you have to be working with people. And then the last thing is the achievement. You want to be able to play on the strengths of others. What this means is, if you're able to play off of each other's strengths, you are now synergizing, like almost perfectly. You're without even asking them, because you've been working together, you know that he's good at this person's good at this task. So you automatically you go, you're good at this, you go ahead and do that. I'm actually better at doing these type of tasks, so I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this. And if you take that leadership position, you actually seem more dependable. You actually seem like you're able to work more effectively in groups, but also effectively on your own, because you're able, again, with that habit 2, first things first, you're able to really have good time management, which is awesome for synergy and group work. And then the last thing is sharpen the saw. A lot of times when we're working with tools, it's easy to forget about the tool that we're working with. The tool that we're working with in this scenario is us. And there's four dimensions that you want to take care of: your physical, spiritual, mental, and social and emotional dimension. So the physical dimension means you want regular exercise, proper nutrition, and sleep, right? So 30 minutes of exercise a day to keep your body feeling good. You want to be able to eat good, right? Eating balanced meals, and you want to have 6 to 8 hours of sleep a day. Because if you're not taking care of yourself physically, then you can't go to work and properly talk and have conversations or properly finish the tasks, because maybe you're sleep deprived and you're falling asleep at your desk, or maybe you're hungry and you can't focus correctly. This prompts one to take care of one's body, and you're boosting your self-esteem because you feel better, right? You eat healthy, your mind is sharp, you're exercising, so you feel strong, your body feels strong, so you feel better about yourself, which is necessary for habits 1 through 3, right? Because you're being proactive, right? So you actually have to take the first step. You're doing tasks. So you're sitting, if you're doing computer work, you're sitting at a long time, but if you're having manual labor, that takes a toll. That's why you want that physical exercise. And habit number 3, which is, let's go back to it, putting first things first, and then habit number 2, begin with the end in mind, they take a toll on your brain. So proper nutrition and sleep helps with keeping your mind sharp. Then you have spiritual dimension. You want to connect regularly with your core and values and motives, or core values and motives. This brings a sense of fulfillment and inner peace, which are needed for 4 through 6, because habits 4 through 6 are actually are actually a lot more emotionally draining because you're dealing a lot more with other people, right? You're synergizing. You're you're trying to understand people and you're thinking win-win, right? So all of these take a mental and emotional and spiritual toll. So you want to be able to disconnect and recharge that battery, and you can connect through music, literature, and nature. Then you have your mental dimension, right? It's your brain, and you want a continued education outside of school. We're not saying, he's not saying to just take college courses. You want to be able to learn new skills or information, expanding the mind and honing critical thinking skills. It helps with all of your skills, because if you're able to think critically, or think critically at higher levels, you're able to take on much harder tasks, or you're able to take on a lot more tasks